So today we'll complete the lower limb by completing the small topic nail apparatus, right? Nail as a unit is called as nail apparatus with its different constituents, right? We'll discuss about that in detail now. Nails are homologous with the cornified layer of the general epidermis, right? They consist of compacted enucleate so enucleate keratin filled squamous, right? Is called as squamous in 2 or 3 horizontal layers, right? Ultrastructurally, the squamous contain closely packed filaments, right? In that lie transversely to the direction of the proximo-distal growth. That means if the nail is growing like this, okay, they arrange like this transversely to the direction of proximo-distal growth and are embedded in a dense protein matrix, right? Unlike the general epidermis, squamous are not shed from the nail plate surface, right? A variety of mineral elements including calcium are present in nail. The hardness of the nail is determined by the arrangement of the cohesion of the layers of the squamous and their internal fibers, right, and not by the calcium content. So the hardness of the nail is, if the nail is brittle, right, the nail is brittle, that is because of the arrangement of the layers of the squamous. Okay, that depends on the arrangement of the squamous and not on the calcium content of the nail, right? And also the water content of the nail is low, but the nail is 10 times more permeable to water than the general epidermis. Remember that, water and calcium. The softness and elasticity of the nail plate are related to its degree of hydration. If it is hydrated, it will be soft and elastic. So the nail apparatus means nail plate, nail folds, right? Proximal and lateral nail folds, and nail matrix, nail bed, and hyponychium. Okay, +1. So overall, there are 6 components in the nail apparatus: nail plate, proximal and lateral nail folds. Okay, 2 and 3. Nail matrix is 4, bed is 5, hyponychium is 6. Right. So this is the nail. Okay, these are the nail folds: lateral nail fold, proximal nail fold. This is the nail plate. Okay, nail plate, okay, is the thing you polish. Okay, nail polish along with this. Okay, these are the different components. Okay, nail folds, nail plate, right, matrix, nail bed, which is underlies this, and hyponychium. Okay, you see again, this is the matrix, this is the bed, right, this is the nail plate, these are the folds, lateral and proximal nail folds, this is hyponychium, right? We'll know that in detail. Coming to the different components. Nail plate is embedded within the proximal and lateral nail folds, right? It's approximately rectangular in shape and is mostly convex in both longitudinal and transverse axes. There is considerable inter and intra-individual variation. The thickness of the plate increases proximo-distally from about 0.7 to 1.6 mm, although the terminal thickness varies between individuals, right? The surface of the nail plate may show fine longitudinal ridges and its undersurface is grooved by corresponding ridges in the nail bed. Okay, so the grooves in the nail bed and grooves on the nail plate, okay, they fit together. That is why giving somewhat stability to the nail plate. Disturbance of growth pattern or disease may lead to transverse ridging or grooves. Minute trapped air bubbles may produce white flecks. These defects move distally with the growth of nail plate. Okay, as the nail is growing in this manner, okay, proximo-distal manner, if the air bubble is white fleck is formed here, it will grow in the next. This fleck will be like this. This fleck will be like this. Okay, right. The nail plate arises from the compacted cornified epithelial cells derived from the dorsal, intermediate, and ventral nail matrices. Okay, so there is nail matrix produces the nail plate. Okay, nail matrix is the producer and nail plate is the product. It is densely adherent to the matrices on its undersurface but becomes a free structure distal to the onychodermal band where it separates from the nail bed. Okay, so the nail plate, which is like this, okay, this is the finger pulp, right? So the nail plate from here is called as onychodermal band. Okay, so from here it is free and separate from the nail bed. This is the nail bed, right? Nail bed. Okay. The dorsal aspect of the nail plate originates from the more proximal regions of the germinal matrix, that is dorsal and intermediate matrices, whereas the deeper volar aspect of the plate, volar means this, okay, volar surface. So this part of the nail, okay, beyond the onychodermal band is produced by the ventral matrix. Okay, this part of the nail plate is produced by the dorsal and intermediate matrices. Okay, so you see this is the matrix, right? Okay, so this is the onychodermal band, right? It is the edge is freeing from the nail bed, right? So this one is derived from the ventral matrix and whole of this plate is derived from the dorsal and intermediate matrix, right? Nail folds, the sides of the nail plate are bordered by the lateral nail folds which are continuous with the proximal fold. They are bounded by the attachment of the skin to the lateral aspect of the distal phalanx margin and the lateral nail. The proximal nail fold provides the visible proximal border of the nail apparatus, right? It consists of a superficial and deep epidermal layer. These two layers are separated by a core of dermis. Epidermis of the superficial layer lacks hair follicles and epidermal ridges, and its cornified distal margin extends over the nail plate as the cuticle or eponychium. Okay. So distal margin of the proximal nail fold is called as cuticle or eponychium. The deep layer merges with the nail matrix. The eponychium is bounded by the fascial attachment of the skin to the base of the distal phalanx, distal to the insertion of the extensor tendon and its distal free edge. It adheres to the dorsal aspect of the nail plate and overlays the root of the nail. Okay. So you see, this is the eponychium, right? and this one is cuticle. Okay, this one is proximal nail fold. You see, this is the proximal nail fold, and these are lateral nail folds, right? Coming to the nail matrix. Nail matrix is the main source of the nail plate. Okay, this is the producer, and it can be subdivided into proximally. The dorsal matrix is defined as the volar surface of the proximal nail fold. The intermediate matrix or germinal matrix starts where the dorsal matrix folds back on itself and extends as far as the dorsal parts of the lunula. Ventral matrix or sterile matrix is the remainder of the nail bed. Okay, we'll see that. You see, this is the matrix, right? This is the volar surface. So proximal, this is the dorsal and intermediate up to here. Okay, so dorsal, intermediate. All of this is distal matrix, right? The matrix epithelium consists of typical basal and prickle layer keratinocytes, among which are scattered melanocytes and Langerhans cells. Cornified cells of the dorsal and ventral aspects of the matrix are steadily extruded distally from the nail plate. Approximately 50% of the nail matrix contributes approximately 80% of the nail plate, right? This process is continues into the nail bed at the distal edge of the lunula, which is found where the distal portion of the ventral matrix underlies the nail plate. So this is called as lunula. Okay. So this is you see proximal nail matrix. This one is intermediate, and beyond intermediate is distal nail matrix. Okay. Right. You see cuticum or hyponychium, right? The nail bed is like this. So you see this one is a matrix, right? Dorsal and ventral. All of the remaining is volar matrix or distal matrix. The lunula is pale, opaque and convex and is more prominent in the thumb than the other digits. It is not known why the lunula is so pale compared with the more distal translucent pink nail bed. The lack of color may reflect the thickness of the epidermis in the lunula or a paucity of capillaries in the dermis of the lunula. Right? So this one is called as lunula. Okay, this pale one. Okay, this thick one is called as cuticle. This is proximal nail fold. Okay, proximal nail fold. This is lateral nail fold. Right? This is onychodermal band. The point where the nail plate is free itself from the bed. Okay, this is the onychodermal band. Right? This one is a nail apparatus. Coming to the bed, epidermis of the nail bed extends from the distal margin of the lunula to the hyponychium. That means lunula to hyponychium means volar surface, right? Distal margin of the nail bed, which is point where the nail plate becomes free of the nail bed, is called as onychodermal band, right? We have already seen that. The surface of the nail bed is rigid and grooved longitudinally, corresponding to a similar pattern on the undersurface of the nail plate. Okay, this is the onychodermal band. This is short band. So this is lunula, right? This is lunula. This is onychodermal band. So onychodermal band is long. Onychodermal band is cosmetic, means cosmetic. Okay, nail bitten. Okay, there is no onychodermal band here. This is called as cosmetic because in ancient days Chinese grew very long nails. Okay, very long nails in order to show their social status, because long nails means they don't work. That means they are uh, aristocrats, right? Rich, rich people. That is it is called cosmetic. That is why also actors and heroines and all the beauty conscious people grew their nails, right? This results in a tight interlocking. That means nail bed ridging and nail plate ridging. Okay, interlocking between nail plate and the underlying nail bed, protecting against microbial invasion and the collection of the debris underneath the nail. Right. The epidermis of the nail bed is thin and lacks stratum granulosum. It consists of 2 to 3 layers of nucleated cells that lack keratohalline granules and a thin cornified layer that moves distally with the growing nail plate. It contains an occasional sweat gland distally. The dermis of the nail bed is anchored to the periosteum of the distal phalanx with an underlying subcutaneous layer. It forms a tight compartment, which means that infections involving the nail bed are an increase in pressure. Example, resulting from a hematoma may cause severe pain, which may be relieved by removal of part of all of the nail plate. Okay, if there is hematoma, if you remove the nail plate, the pain will be decreased. The dermis of the nail bed is richly vascularized. The blood vessels are arranged longitudinally and display a numerous glomus bodies which are encapsulated arteriovenous anastomosis involved in the physiological control of peripheral blood flow in relation to temperature. Okay, you will learn this in thermoregulation. That is why if there is very coldness, okay, frostbite includes fingers, right? The dermis is well innervated and contains numerous sensory nerve endings, including Merkel endings and marginal corpuscles. You will learn all of these in physiology, nervous system. Nail bed cells differentiate towards the nail plate and contribute to its thickness ventrally. So this is the glomus bodies, glomus organ, very intricate structure. This is nail, okay. So this is aponeuchium, you see, cuticle. This is hyponeuchium. Okay, all of this is nail bed, right? So you see, this is interlocking here and here at the onychodermal band, distal end, right? Observe these diagrams later, how this interlocking works. Coming to the last part, hyponeuchium is a area under the free nail between the onychodermal band proximally and the distal groove. It is an epidermal ridge that demarcates the junction between the finger pulp and the subungual structures. Subungual means subnail. Ungual means nail. You see, this is the hyponeuchium, right? This is the onychodermal band. Coming to the growth is determined by the turnover rate of the matrix, which varies with digit, okay? Varies with age, varies with temperature and season, time of the day, nutritional status, trauma and diseases. Okay, it depends on the digits. Okay, every digit produces the nail plate differently. Okay, differently means the rate of the growth is different from digit to digit, and from age, it differs between ages, and it differs when the temperature is low and when the temperature is high. It depends on the season, it depends on the time of the day, it depends on the nutritional status of the individual. right? Generally, the rate of the growth is related to the length of the digit, right? Proportionally being fastest. Okay, approximately 0.1 mm per day in the middle finger of the hand and slowest in the little finger, right? Because middle finger of the hand is longest finger. Fingernails grow 3 to 4 times faster than the toenails. Remember this. More quickly in summer than in winter. That means summer. They grow in summer more quickly and faster in the young than in the old. Right? And also nails don't grow after death. Remember that. Fingernails grow out in about 6 months, whereas the toenail is replaced on average in 18 months. Okay? So in a half a year, fingernails, complete fingernail grows, whereas the toenails takes almost 1.5 years. Genetic keratin disorders may lead to nail dystrophies such as pachyonychia congenita, where the nails become grossly thickened. In addition, germline mutations in the RSPO4 gene, which encodes R-spondin 4, have been shown to cause recessive anonychia, absence of all fingernails and toenails. Okay, remember that. Anonychia is a genetic disorder. Furthermore, mutations in the FGD6 gene, which encodes the WNT receptor protein, FRGILD6, have been shown to underlie the molecular basis of autosomal recessive nail dysplasia as well as 20 nail dystrophy, a condition that affects the nails of all fingers and toes. Dystrophy, right? So this is the nail, onychodermal band, proximal and lateral nail folds, cuticle, lunula, right? This one is the matrix. This is the nail plate. Underlies the nail plate is the nail nail bed. You see, this is the fingernail, this is the toenail. Okay, the orientation. You see, predominant orientation of the longer axis of the plate will define whether the plate general form is closer to rectangular as in elongated. So this is rectangular, whereas this is quadrangular, right? Toenails are quadrangular, whereas fingernails are rectangular. So that is the difference between fingernail and toenail. And also the transverse axis, okay? Transverse convexity of the nail plate and arching of the matrix. You see, arch is very low here in the fingernail, whereas the toenail arch is convexity is greater in toenail, right? Coming to the longitudinal convexity, right? Here also in the toenail there is more longitudinal convexity comparison to the fingernail, right? This is the innervation and blood supply. Okay, so there are arches, proximal arches, deeper proximal arches, and deeper distal arch, and this is the superficial proximal arch. Okay, in the arteries, it is arterial arch, and these are veins. Okay, and there is nerve. So all of these forms intricately, right? There are almost 30 capillaries for every 5 centimeters of finger pulp. 5 mm, sorry. 5 mm of finger pulp. Okay, there are almost 30 capillaries. Okay, remember that. That is why they are very rich in blood supply and also very rich in nerve supply also. Right? That is why they are very sensitive to the pain. Right? So this is the proximal, you see, cuticle and inula. This is the nail plate. This is the nail bed. This is the matrix, right? You see matrix, bed, and this is the hyponychium, right? So different compartments, right? And also nail is anchored to the phalanx with anterior ligament, right, posterior ligament, and also anchored with the bed mesenchyme. Okay, it is called as bed mesenchyme. That is why nail is stabilized through anterior ligament and posterior ligament. And also the keratinization or the production of nail plate. Okay, keratin is the material because of whom nail is very hard, right? So it is called production is called as keratinization. But there are different modes of keratinization: onycho-keratinization, onycho-lemmal keratinization, and epidermo-keratinization. So onycho-keratinization produces plate, right? Matrix. Onycho-lemmal produces cuticle and horny layer, sole horn, and ventral cuticle. By cuticle is produced by ventral proximal nail fold, whereas the sole horn and ventral cuticle is produced by bad epithelium. Whereas epidermoid keratinization means marginal proximal nail fold, which produces eponychium, and hyponychium, which produces hyponychial horn, and paronychial skin produces volar horn, right? So always remember the different components of the nail apparatus and how the growth is formed. Okay, with that we end the nail apparatus and the lower limb.